Welcome everyone to another session of Being African Business Unusual. And today I have the pleasure of introducing the one and only Tariro neGitare, Tariro Chaniwa. She is a musician, creative artist. She is a business owner and entrepreneur, the owner of TNG Music, and also the founder of neGitare Africa. She is a wonderful mom, wonderful mom, and a dear friend. Welcome, Tariro Chaniwa. How are
Thank
you
you
today?
so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to finally be here.
To finally be here. We've been trying to do this for a while.
Yeah.
So before we go deeper into this, Business Unusual is where we talk about business in cultural terms, in cultural lens. The context is identity, it is upbringing, community, and values. With that in mind, where do you come from?
Where do I come from? I come from Zimbabwe. I come from a town called Bindura, um, in a village called Chidamba Village, Kwamsana. Yeah. I don't know where I got you. I'm thinking of St. John's Chikwaka for some weird reason, but yeah, that's where I'm from, Doku Mushakwedu. But I grew up in Harare. My parents are both staying in Harare, but Kumushaku Bindura.
Excuse me? Because I also come from Sana.
No, yes,
Exactly,
yes, of
exactly.
course.
I was so excited. Sana. I come
Yeah,
from Kwakambasha, Kwamchapondwa. That's where I come from. Exactly.
yeah,
So
that's where the kinship is actually.
it's always been there. It's always been
Yeah,
there. I have
yeah.
loved you from day one, and I am so privileged to be your friend. And
Oh,
you're very
that's
well
so
connected
nice.
to most of my friends. So
Yeah,
I love that about us. So tell
yes.
me, before Tariro neGitare was famous,
Mm.
she went to school. Who was Tariro neGitare before we got to know her?
Wow. So I was such a vibrant young girl. I was very independent in my thinking. I grew up in a family of three boys and two girls, myself and my sister, that is. And we were, I think our household was just so much fun, very gender neutral. So it was not about the boys do this, the girls do this. Everybody just did everything that was supposed to be done. So that was quite nice. But yeah, I was just a free spirit. I enjoyed my schooling at my primary at Blackiston Primary, my high school at St. John's, Emerald Hill. And that's where I started to play the guitar.
You started to play the guitar. Did you learn from someone, or it was a self-taught? Um,
So I learned
le-
from Sister Elizabeth Vereking, who was heading the music department at school in Form 1. We used to have our music lessons as part of our curriculum. And I remember one of the sessions, she says, look, I'm trying to form a guitar choir. So I thought we had a guitar at home, and my older brother, Manfred, used to play. So I thought, "Ah, why don't I put up my hand?" So I put up my hand. And by the way, it wasn't the coolest thing because we used to play guitar during mass. So it wasn't the cool playing. It was just that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was very basic. But yeah, I joined the guitar choir and the rest is history.
what did you have to unlearn to become Tariro neGitare? What
Mm.
did you have to unlearn? Because we have perceptions, we have ideas of what career is. And you said, I'm a guitar girl. What did you have to unlearn? What was the unusual journey for you to become a Tariro neGitare person?
So one of the things that I really had to unlearn was that women can't do it. I'm coming from a household where my father asserted me and my brothers made me believe that I can literally do anything I put my mind to. I remember the first time, one of the first few times I performed at the book cafe. There's a fellow male artist who came up to me and says, "Ah, iwe unoriza makodzi echirume." And as in you play male chords. And I thought to myself, well, when I learned the G chord or the C chord or the F chord, nobody ever said this is a male chord or a female chord. It was just a chord. So for the first time, I started to realize that, okay, this thing is not really common among women at that time. Even when you'd go to spaces, especially in the rural areas, women, people would look at you weirdly and say, but why are you doing this? You're a woman. So it really boggled my mind to say, but what's wrong with that? And I think only now that am I realizing how different things were and what a privilege it was for me to be able to pursue this kind of career, being a woman. And because of that, I've also made it a point to be very intentional about just sowing that seed, especially in communities that don't get to see a woman playing an instrument, just to encourage more women to play. So yeah, I really had to unlearn the idea that there are women who have limitations, um, and I'm not one of them.
You know what? I have an idea. Some point we have to have a concert Kwamsana to honor our
Yeah,
origins. Yes, the Musana girls having a Musana concert for the Musana people. That's what being African is about.
absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
this is where we are, but this is where we started. Tongoita kashoso. Just come
Hmm.
together and have fun as Msana girls,
That
and
would
we'll
be
call it
nice.
the Msana concert, with being African and
Yes,
neGitare. Let's
that
do
would be
this. We
lovely.
can do this happen. I mean, what would you like the world to know on your journey to success? The one thing that you wish people understood about success journey.
One thing that I'd like the world to know about my journey to success is that it's not about you. The more we try to make it about ourselves, the more we lose ourselves. And I think once we realize that God is the one who placed us on this earth, it is in Him that we live and move and have our being. And there's a scripture that says that seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. And it's so real because when you pursue Him and in that pursuit, he starts to show you things. He starts to make you realize things. He starts to make you meet the right people. He makes you say the right thing. He makes you show up in the right places. So yeah, I'm really learning to die to self and just bring him and make him the center of everything that I do.
How important is culture to you?
Oh, it's absolutely important. Absolutely important. Our very identity is important. And I'll share my first ever international tour was in Germany. And I remember when we were back in Zim, I mean, uh, we loved singing in our English, and I still do. We love looking European and American. But I remember when we got there, people didn't like that. They wanted to hear what the true Zimbabwean story is. So I remember I had to dig up all my Shona songs. I had to dig up everything about me that is African. I had to look a certain way because now I'm now under pressure to look Zimbabwean and to sell the Zimbabwean story. So ever since then, I've been very intentional about what my story is, what my identity is. Um, One of the things that I learned from the late Dr. Oliver Mtukudzi, his soul rest in peace, there's this song that of mine where he said to me, Tari, you better watch your intonation because the way you say something, our language has a natural rhythm, something like the word vana. And he says, vana, 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 right? Which is one word, but the way the intonation in it makes the word change the meaning. And that made me realize that our language has its own rhythm. So even as I create my music, that aspect is so important because uh, the songs write themselves out without me having to say anything. I have one song called Wildfire, which I absolutely love. And it's called Pese pandinokuona ndinoda kuva newe nguva nenguva. So the words the words make the rhythm. I don't need to create a different rhythm. And I love it. I love that about the Shona language. And when you sing it and speak it the way that it's supposed to be done, it creates a beautiful melody. So yes, every aspect of our culture is so important. I am made in the way that I am, in the space that I've been grown up with, to tell a story about where I've been, and all that contributes to how I'm supposed to show up as a proponent of God's kingdom.
There's an African proverb that says, the one who follows a crowd goes no further than the crowd. How are
Mhm.
you different?
How am I different? Wow. I'm different in that I'm submitted to the one who created me, and he makes me show up authentically me. I'm not trying to be anybody else. I love my Africanness. I love my Zimbabweanness. I love everything about me. My deep voice, which I used to hate, uh, has now become the best thing that I have. My kinky hair, which I thought, oh my gosh, I should be straightening this hair, has now become such a beautiful thing, and I absolutely adorn my crown. The kind of education that I got, the kind of friends I grew up with, all those things make me uniquely me. My motherhood, my sisterhood, my auntyhood, everything about me um, makes me very different. And yeah, I'm even learning that every day. I'm discovering myself every single day that, oh, I can actually do this. Oh, I can actually pursue this. Oh, and the more I meet more people, the more I see aspects of myself that I actually enjoy. When I met you, just learning about being African and how that resonated with me made me, I mean, it affirmed the fact that, okay, I'm doing the right thing, right? Clearly, there are other people who feel the same way. There's a whole tribe of us. So yeah, that I'm unique in that way, and I'm hoping that as you discover my music, you also see my unique elements as well in the things I sing about and the things I talk about.
Yes, we are culturally aligned for sure because we created some music our way, not the Tariro neGitare production way, for, for chores on Being African. You can find that on the Being African website. Songs about kugeza, taking a bath, cleaning the house, and
Right.
yes, and making your bed. And you are the first person we approached with that assignment. And as much as you wanted to do it, you were so busy around about that time. So we
Yeah,
could have used that voice at that time, but I'm sure there are so many future opportunities. Seeing as
absolutely.
you have TNG Music, can you tell us a little about TNG Music and how, as a mentor, you are using that space to raise other artists or train or mentor,
Mhm.
whatever you want to, whichever word you are using.
So TNG is the business side of everything that I do. It's the commercial entity, really just housing myself, my brand, as well as the productions that I do and some of the consultancies that I do. But I realize I have a lot of development work that I like to do, and I do that through the neGitare Africa space, which is more development. That's an NGO that I run here in Harare, Zimbabwe. So I work a lot with community capacity building because as I was growing up in the music industry, I realized that there's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of spaces where mentorship is needed, and people didn't have to go through the things that I went through. There's so many things that could be avoidable. So I'm hoping I can set up some form of a framework in which young people who are trying to enter into the industry can come in and learn, build the capacity, get the right skills and the knowledge. So we run a course called the So Creative e-learning course, which is by the British Council. It's an entry-level course. It's online and it's free. And we're saying before you even think you want to be a dancer, a singer, a musician, whatever it is that you want to be in the art space, get the knowledge first. Know about launching your creative enterprise, growing your creative enterprise. What does the social policy say? What is the government talking about? What is the policy for the National Arts Council? Those are the sort of things that we try to educate our young artists, and just to get them to network as well, get them on a touring circuit locally. Because if you can't tour locally, how are you going to tour internationally? So those are the sort of things that we try to empower the up and coming creative.
Interesting. So in that space, the question of woman, what concerns you? What are you seeing that needs the urgency to be addressed in the Wunu space?
Mm,
By Wunu, I mean our values,
yeah.
identity, upbringing, and just humanity. What is concerning you in that space? because everybody has something to
Wow.
say.
Yeah. Identity. We don't know who we are as creatives. And again, because creatives represent, we're a microcosm of the macrocosm. So what the artist is just a representative of what society looks like. Lauryn Hill, who's an artist I truly admire, has a song where she says music is supposed to inspire. So how come we're not getting any higher? And I'd love to respond to that to say we're not getting any higher because we're not capacitating our creatives to be able to stand for the truth. We want to look like the Americans. We want to look like the South Africans. We like to look like the Nigerians. But unless we agree on what Zimbabwean looks like and we push that agenda, we will stay in the same place. And for as long as the young girls are looking at Tariro neGitare and they don't see that picture, they're not going to aspire to be anything better. You know, one thing that inspired me to tour was as a young girl, I would watch Ambuya Stella Chiweshe in her traditional garb, standing on that stage in Germany, gyrating to Uyazona, 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 and you know. So for me, that picture communicated that if I want to be performing for thousands of people who are in a different culture, I need to know what the Zimbabwean story is like, because that's what she was selling. So the same thing goes for me for the young girls looking at me now. So I come back to the fact that our identity is an issue and we need to really hammer that into the creators because they are the ones who are going to be the picture that we sell what a creative African looks like.
How far is your guitar from you right now?
So I'm not at home.
Oh, okay.
I'm not at home, yeah. So I didn't bring it here.
Because I was going to challenge you. I was going to give you 3 words and say, "Can you make a song?" You have you have your voice. Can
Yeah, I
you
could I could use my
on
voice, whatever is left of it.
can you on the spot sing something using these words? My
Okay.
life, my life, my legacy, my life and my legacy.
My life and my legacy.
Mhm.
This is my life I'm living. This is my legacy, the legacy I'm living. I'm telling a story. I'm telling a story of everything I've been, and that's my life. I hope that makes sense.
This is fun. Now let's do that in Shona. Upenyu wangu, upenyu wangu, ufumi wangu.
Right.
Upenyu, ufumi, however, okay. What are the
Upenyu
Shona
wangu,
words?
ufumi wangu.
Upenyu wangu. Because when you're saying that, what we are trying to do here is empower the younger generation. Upenyu
Mm,
wangu, ufumi wangu. Saka, don't sing it like you're singing to the podcast audience. You're on a stage and you have 1 million kids
yeah.
in front of you right now. Imba upenyu wangu, ufumi
All
wangu.
right. Uyu upenyu wangu, mararamiro angu, ufumi wangu, ufumi wangu, upenyu wangu, mararamiro angu, ndiwo ufumi wangu, ufumi wangu.
Hey, well done, well done. Tatomirira song. We are now waiting for the song. Mararamiro
You're
angu.
now you're giving me some ideas, yes.
No, those are songs that we need to inspire and to empower the
Absolutely.
our kids, the future.
Absolutely.
Tariro neGitare. Last
Yes.
question, and then we are done. Regrets. Any
Regrets.
regrets?
Regrets, I regret not having pursued my career sooner. Um, if I had known when I was 13 that this is where I'd end up being, I would have practiced more. I would have done more in terms of just empowering myself as a musician. When you look at other young people in other countries, they are learning instruments as early as 3, 4 years old. Here in Africa, we do it a lot later. And that way, so as a result, our skill levels are completely different. I really do wish I had started much earlier. I wish I had invested a bit more in the things that I'm doing now. That being said, I don't regret anything else that I've done, and I'm sure God made it happen the way that it did for a reason. But that's the only regret that I have at the moment.
Thank you. Musana go, kindred spirit. Thank you for your time and thank you for your wisdom. We really appreciate what you're doing for the music space. You show up with responsibility and
Thank you.
we honor your music, we celebrate your music, and keep doing what you're doing. And to the new generation, follow this young lady. She's
Yes,
teaching
please.
us a lot. And thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor.